So here is the new plan. We're going to be trying to overhead and bench on the same day. Here's kind of like a planned progression over the next 2 months. And what I like to do for 5-3-1 is I just actually put all of the weights out here. You can see here I've got sets 1 through 3, and then singles if you feel like doing them, all out there so we can keep track of it. And then we've got my squat sheets and Glenn's squat sheets. And this week decided to buy some new shoes, so I'm switching from the low tops to the high tops. And you can see here, this is the right shoe. Kind of blew out the inside here from my feet being too fat. And on this one, the left shoe, actually you can see here the bottom's completely gone. The inside, at least on this one, was pretty good. So it's time for a replacement, and hopefully the high top works better. We'll see. One. Three, let's go. Try it again. One. Two. Oh man. Right, go. There you go, hits! Yeah, nice. There you go. 1, 2, whoa. 3, 4. Hips. 5. Hips. 6. Drop. 7. Come on, you got this. Drop, drop, drop. 8. Shoulder. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. I guess I'm gonna be having a good time. It is time to stop the music for just a little bit because I wanted to talk about what's going on with these joker sets on squats. So the first thing is, how do we decide what weight we're going to use? What I do is I take the training max, so 90% of your 1 rep max for 531 plus whatever you've modified that by based on the previous cycle, and the top set of either the 3s or the 531, and split that difference. So that's the weight that we do for the first set. And we decided to go 1 to 3 reps because we are kind of light on squats, not so much deadlifts. Of course, you can see here, Glenn decides, you know what? That felt good. I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to go for a 4th rep. And honestly, I can't complain that Glenn is putting in extra work with squats. That is good to see. Now on to me. Man, squats were not feeling good today. I was having a lot of problems, and now I figured out what it was. During this session, I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe just what was going on at work, having a long day, was messing with me. But what it is my depth. And I'm going to make a whole long video on some things that are going on with me. But basically, my belt has been brought in 2 notches. So I've lost quite a bit of circumference around my waist, and that is affecting my depth. Back to Glenn, I've mentioned a couple times that we've played with his stance. I'm not sure what's going on with Glenn's knee, but it's been bothering him for about a year now. I'm pretty sure he's got tendonitis. I convinced him to finally get some strong sleeves, which he says are helping a lot. But we've brought in his stance and we've pointed his feet more forward instead of out. It's helped him a lot, but it's messing with his head in terms of where depth is, balance, and everything. So he's putting up good weight. I mean, this is really good weight, but as you can see there from the front angle, some of the depth was questionable. Now back to me. I've got Glenn spotting me because I just did not feel like things were going right. And here we go on 415. And you can see here, look at that depth. That is just way too deep. And you can see in my head, I'm thinking, you know, do I want to do a 2nd rep? I made the smart call. Just no, there was no way I was going to put myself through it. And that was a good call because I need to control myself now that I'm not hitting the belly on the thighs. I've got to go back and figure out where depth is and raise that up a little bit because I want to make sure I'm squatting the most amount of weight I can in a legal manner. Now, Glenn on the side view, that first one was about textbook depth, which isn't going to pass on the IPF. And maybe I slow it down once. See that? The 2nd rep, I would say, should pass. That is depth. The hip crease has gone below the top of the knee. And the 3rd rep, again, looks like it's legal depth. Nice. IPF might have some issues, but any other federation should be plenty happy with that. Now this right here is a PR for me, which I probably would not have gone for if I would have known what I was doing with my depth here. Because what's happening, because I'm going so deep, I'm getting some butt length, and then coming out of the hole, it's throwing me forward, and I have to fight it the whole way up. And you see the fighting ended up making the bar leave my back, and it almost left and hit the ground, which would have been bad. So I've got some things to work on, guys. There you go. Come on, push that floor through. Let's go. There you go.